This is Paul Newman, and if you are seeing this screen, I am hoping to assure you here that the live stream will start very soon. So please stay tuned. Hello, everybody. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to what is officially the first video of 2023. Woo-hoo! Recorded here on Bank Holiday Monday, the 2nd of January. I do love a bank holiday. It gives me a chance to really crack on. You know, I can't think of anything worse than wanting to work and not being able to. You know, just for no reason whatsoever. You know, so it's good. It's a day where people who work for themselves really come into their own, I think, because they are free to just crack on, which is exactly what I intend to do. Right, this video will hopefully be quite short because it is the final part of Classic Watch 2022, The Verdict. Like everyone knows now, Classic Watch 2022.ml was the place for all the classics of last year. We've taken a look already at 3 of the 4 theatres we took a look in: the UK, Ireland and France, which means we just have the good old US of A to do. What I will do now is I will put a card above here listing you to the previous 3 parts of the verdict here as well. There will be another one at the end as well, all being well. Right, basically, the American horses last year, I didn't really give them a fair enough chance. You know, American horses, you've got to really watch them at 2 for the classics, I think. Or you're just picking trial winners that win Group 3s and Group 2s that don't really prove good enough. That's what happened as a result of the way 2022 panned out. I only got a chance really to follow 3 American horses, and 2 of them were identified during the trial process, really, which was, as well as exposing the horses, they were always needing to step up as well. You know, it was tricky. You know, I think I learned a lot last year from this regarding following the American horses in classics. You know, and as a consequence of that, I'm hoping to go. Well, I am going to go into 2023 with more horses that I'm watching on the radar. We've already got 1 on the site, hopefully, and another 9 possibles that if they can just land a trial. You know, they're running Group 1 races last year, and I'm hoping that they can do the job for us and get on the site. You know, I think it'll have to win a Grade 1 trial to be included. And the way the American classics are as well, there's no progression like there is in the European ones, where you go from a mile to a mile and a half to a mile and 6 over from, say, May. A horse can theoretically run in the UK 1,000 guineas in May, and what is the French St Leger, the Royal Oak, in early October. You know, it's possible. You know, and so there isn't that in America. They run between May and July, so the window is a lot smaller as well. You know, so what we're going to try and go into with this year is proven Group 1 winners and just see where it takes us that are well bred. The 3 horses we followed last year, we have to start really with one which was easily the best of them, I think. The Steve Asmussen trained Echo Zulu. If people look at its form at 2, it ticks a lot of the boxes what we were looking for. You know, it won the Frisette at 2. Then it went on to win the Breeders' Cup Juvenile. And when it came out and won the Twin Spires Fairground Oaks this year in Grade 2, you know, we were hopeful. But rather like the French horses, you know, frustratingly, she finished 4th on her big day in the Kentucky Oaks. And again, you know, there's no ladies' Preakness or ladies' Belmont. You know, these poor fillies in America, they only get 1 shot. You know, and it was disappointing that she could only finish 4th on the day. What looked like a good renewal, to be fair, in hindsight. She then came out and won the Group 3 Dogwood Stakes at Churchill Downs, ironically enough, 4 months later. Dropped down in grade. And then she proved really what she is, a good horse. She was runner-up in the Breeders' Cup Filly and Mares Sprint in the Grade 1 at Keeneland. So arguably we got the distance wrong for this one as well. Rather than stepping it up in trip, they went back in trip. But the horse has still won 6 out of its 8 races and over $2 million. Classic 4th, dual Group 1, Group 2 and Group 3 winner. You know what I mean? It's had a good career, she has. And it'll be interesting to see what connections do with her next season. Excuse me. The second one, I identified as another filly, you see. We're giving ourselves one shot only. We're trying not to do that as much this year. The fillies are going to need to do a lot more to get on in 2023. This one was the Godolphin-owned, William Mott-trained Nostalgic. I mean, we noticed that one when it did run and win the Grade 3 Gazelle Stakes at Aqueduct in April, which again only gave us one shot and less than a month for a horse to improve from Group 3 to Group 1 level, you know. But I like the pedigree of it, so I was willing to chance it. And with it being Godolphin, I thought you never know. Yeah, it was well bred enough. It was just a matter of it being good enough or not. And sadly, I feel Nostalgic proved herself not to be good enough, really. She finished 10th in the Kentucky Oaks. She tried Group 1 and a couple more times. She was placed in the Coaching Club American Oaks as her best run, really. And she was also second in the Group 3, turned back the alarm handicap. So that one really has to go down as a failure. It was Group 1 placed, but not in a classic. And it never won another race after we identified it. A similar fate really befitted the third and final horse we identified out in the States, Simplification. Just before we quick, Nostalgic. She 3 out of 11, £369,000. Simplification was the third one, Colt, that came to my attention. Firstly, when it ran all right in the Holy Bull Stakes, Group 3, and then it came out and won what I consider a fair trial, really, looking back at history. The Fountain of Youth Stakes, Group 2. It won again in the 3rd of the 5th in March. So it was giving itself a bit more time to get ready for the Kentucky Derby in May. And again, another frustrating, looking at it now. You know, it ran well. It was 3rd in the Florida Derby, Group 1, and then again it was 4th. So that's the 6th 4th we've had in France and America. Got unlucky, really. I'm sure we had a few in the UK and Ireland as well in classics. We've done all right. 4th in the Kentucky Derby. It then ran 6th in the Preakness before they dropped it in class. And I fancied it that day in the West Virginia Derby, where unfortunately it was only 3rd. I thought that was arguably its worst run of the year when I fancied it the most. So it'll always go down as a frustrating horse for that. It was then tried in a Group 1 level twice again, finishing 4th in the Pennsylvania Derby and 7th in the Breeders' Cup Dirt Mile, when it just ran no sort of a race at all. And then finished 3rd in the Holiday Stakes yesterday, and New Year's Eve actually. I'd give up on the horse by then. The horse has lost its last 7 races now. 6 was enough for me. I watched it go out in the Breeders' Cup. I didn't even follow the horse then after that. So it had just been like the horse to win last night. To win that race, really. In the Farlands Holiday Stakes. I know the Harlands Holiday Stakes, yeah, of course. That's the mark on my screen. Harlands Holiday, an acceptable sire, of course. Right, so that one has to go down as a failure as well, but it did nearly win $800,000. It's only won 3 out of its 13 races. And what's more, it's been out the first 3 5 times. Nostalgic again has been out the first 3 6 times. You know, them two, they have to go down as definite failures, unfortunately, on Classic Watch 2022, which can be found at classicwatch2022.ml. What I will do now is I will leave a card up the top now linking you to next year's American Horses Possibles 2023. We have 10 horses nicely lined up in a playlist for you, of which one of them, Forte, is already in the top 10. And at the end of the video, I'll also put a link to the previous 4 parts of the verdict so people can see how we got on in Ireland, France and Great Britain. If this is the first time you've stumbled across one of our videos, if it is, lucky you. Welcome aboard. Things are just starting to get interesting. You know, you've joined at exactly the right time. So for now, I'm gonna bid you all a fond farewell. You take care, everybody. Happy 2023 to you all. I hope you all get the year you deserve. And you look after yourselves, everybody. Thank you very much for supporting the channel and the videos in your own unique way. Thank you very much. You take care, everybody. Goodbye.